You're the man that rules the world.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest.
Hi, I'm Opie.
Welcome one and all, I'm KC.
I am DC.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen, bringing to you this and every week a celebration of all things overcoming Down syndrome and committing enough buggery even the Navy won't keep you.
It's a lot of buggery, Casey. Especially in the 1700s, 1600s. It's a lot of buggery.
It's an awful lot of buggery. Head over to twogoddamngentlemen.com where you can vote on the gentlemen, find the links to the Twitter, the YouTube, the Patreon. That Patreon gets you access into our Discord during all free and bonus episodes. And a new Ladies of the Night will be coming next week, probably Thursday. But this podcast is the last one I'm doing in this apartment. So we'll see how the internet is set up and ready to go by Thursday.
There we go. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be
DC.
exciting. You're not moving to Florida, are you?
That would have been nicer,
Okay.
but I'm also not moving to California, which is also good. DC.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's right. If you actually, I have a lot of information coming up for you about how California is actually a good state.
Oh, cool.
So good news there. If you would please,
Yeah.
read back the minutes to last week's meeting.
Mr. Buggery himself, Titus Oates, he's the nothing person. He's zero. He got equal votes up and down, and nobody moved the tally on that guy at all.
Nobody knew how to feel, except me. Definitely a gentleman.
Definitely a gentleman, yeah, and deserving of all his second chances. Mike Lindell, totally a gentleman, plus 11. Getting some voting going on, which I like. Mike Lindell getting all the praise he deserves, all of it.
He was.
I don't appreciate whoever wrote that thing about Down syndrome because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have it. Pretty sure.
No. He overcame it. So.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Cures your downs. It moves your ears up to where they should be. Casey, that's about what I expected. Not the zero from Titus Oates. I expected maybe like one person to be like, he's kind of cool. Like plus 2, you know?
That or nobody voted right after they listened, so they went to vote and they were like, who?
Who? Is that that guy that had the show? No.
Is he a wrestler? I think he's a wrestler.
But neither one of them got anywhere near the top 3 or bottom 3. Casey, why don't we switch it up? And I'm gonna take the top 3 with the outsider in 4th. Still Brigham Young. Happy to announce at a plus 69, which I think is funny.
Nice.
Gained a little bit on 3rd place. Steven Crowder, who's now sitting at plus 76. And the top 2, Casey, both your gentlemen, but not in the same order as last week. Mel Gibson has retaken over 1st place at 101 in the positives. Donald Trump slipped down back into the double digits at plus 98, but only 3 apart, and then quite a bit of difference after that. So it's a 2-man race. As of now, Mel Gibson sneaking up on his own retirement, coming soon.
Yeah, and Trump not too far behind that. The bottom 4, Jonathan Yaniv, much like on Normal Society on the outside looking in, at a minus 162. Soon to be in the bottom 3, though, because we're going to get to it in a second. But right now, 3rd from the bottom on the list, it's Maddox. It's a minus 175.
Yep.
Joe Biden minus 244, and Toots minus 421.
Dudes. Yeah, Tommy's not going anywhere.
No.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
No.
Can't wait till he dies. Probably of cancer. Or of slipping on his shirt and breaking his back. Anyway.
Fractured skull and shitty calf because he's just laying in it.
Enough daydreaming, Casey. Let's get to our gentleman updates and retirements. Oh man, I was excited when I came across this gentleman's video. I thought he was laying low. because he had been for a while, but he's had some movies come out, and like you do, as soon as the movies come out, you're back, baby. Society accepts you again, and our number one ultimate gentleman right now had a few things to say about his two favorite things, Casey. Well, the two things he knows the most about, anyway. Catholic priests and getting canceled. Next video.
Personally, I know many priests who have been canceled, but not for the reasons you'd think. I mean, it's not like they did a hit-and-run drive and left the scene of the crime, or embezzled church funds, stole the altar wine, or committed some other heinous crime. No, not at all. If one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well, then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And they succeed. They drum him out of the service, Off he goes. That's a grave injustice, and it's kind of white martyrdom.
White martyrdom. Sounds like a band that Nazi KC would listen to, doesn't it? I'm just listening to white martyrdom.
I don't remember posing for that particular photo.
Yeah.
Mel, he still sounds incredible. I want to point that out. Right?
He does sound incredible.
He makes almost anything, even if it's absurd, sounds somewhat interesting because he's the one talking. And you listed the two things that he knows the most about. I believe you forgot blowjobs. I think that is clearly the thing. At least that he cares the most about. We know that.
Well, Casey, he gave us a shout out as he continued. He actually shouted the show out. I don't know if you saw this or not, but next video.
And how are we supposed to know the good guys from the bad guys? Well, we were given a standard by which to judge them. By their fruits, you'll know them. By their fruits. Anybody seen any good fruit lately?
Yeah, a few. Here and there. We dabble. We dabble in fruits, Mel. We've seen a few.
One or two in our day, indeed.
And KC, without further ado, speaking of good fruits, I would like to officially retire my third gentleman, Maddox.
Oh, is it time? Look at that. Wow.
Bum.
He's
looking as
guy.
good as never. Jesus Christ. I think Dick Masterson put it correctly. Looks like an egg that got cancer. Right? It's pretty good. It's pretty accurate.
That's not bad.
Minus 175, there he is. That's not what you want. I mean, you really...
No, you wanted him to be further down.
Third to the worst. Yeah. Third to worst. He's gonna end up. Still streaming. KC as a banana. Like we talked about, he's I don't know if he's a good or bad fruit, but we'll give one more chance to Maddox to kind of win us over with a little bit of an update before he goes. Still streaming as a banana and still saying shit that no one ever thinks. Casey, next clip.
Ugh. I wish I had a Coors Light right now.
Gross. Ugh. The fuck? But that's Maddox now.
It's always so upsetting. Oh, it looks awful. Everything about it is bad.
Yeah. So, Casey, just to give a little bit of context on the next clip, on clip down the road that I'm going to show, Dick did a bonus episode where he got a hold of some old audio recordings from when he and Maddox tried to sell their cartoon to Fox, right? And it's this shitty cartoon where they're roommates and they have another roommate, and basically their dynamic where Dick's the smart one and Maddox is this crazy fuck who always tries to come up with these weird life hacks, and he's just not successful at anything. and the show never, it got picked up, but it never aired, right? They whatever.
Like a pilot.
Maddox did such a fuck awful job that they had to replace him doing his own voice for his character. Like, nah, you suck. Like, get out of here. But his character, for whatever reason, had a song as part of one of the pilot episodes. And Dick found the old recording of Maddox singing this song called I Am the Greatest Man in the World. So this is just a little snippet from his bonus episode. I don't think he'll care because his fucking tags are posted all over it, so you can find where to find the Dick Show if you watch our show. So I don't think you'll care. But Casey, next clip. This shows you Maddox's amazing song talent.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest man in the world. I am better than all those stupid little boys and girls. And if you see me coming, you better get out of my way.
Ugh, awful. Fucking terrible. Yeah, I agree, Casey. So one of the Dick Show followers found this, and on Twitch, Banana Docs was doing his thing, bouncing around, being a banana, and this happened.
And I'm gonna shove it up my ass. Hey, Uncle Taft. Uncle Taft, what the fuck are you talking about?
I am the greatest man in the world.
Slip 515 says, y'all should invade each other's streams.
Yeah, it sounds like they already did. Good idea, but it sounds like they already did invade your stream, you idiot. So he does these streams and he'll get super drunk, especially when he's Banana Docs. He gets super drunk. You would have to.
There's simply no other way to accomplish that stream.
And he gets called on it. Next video.
Super Bros, how do you know I'm drunk, Super Bros? What if I'm not? What if I just told you I'm real spicy tonight? What'd you think of that?
Oh my god.
Oh man, why does my mouth taste like chocolate? Oh yeah, I ate chocolate.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
It's the worst thing, dude. It's so terrible to look at.
Why
it's
does
his
my mouth
gross
taste like
mouth.
chocolate? Oh yeah.
It's his gross fucking mouth. Ugh.
Well, at least he doesn't talk about gross things, Casey. Oh wait, no, he does. Next video.
Well, I have it on good authority that Maddox likes to pee on people in the shower, not as a sexual fantasy. He just likes to do it because it's hilarious. Ooh-ah.
He says that a lot, by the way. We've heard that a lot of times. He definitely likes to do that. Yeah, that's a thing that he is absolutely either fantasizing about doing it or has already accomplished. There's no doubt about that.
But Casey, a gentleman has to draw the line somewhere. Pee talk and pissing on people in the shower or whatever. You want to talk about that on your stream? I'm not gonna judge you, but I might not call you a gentleman. Maddox has no such lines, and he crosses it here, I think. Well, you be the judge.
It's my favorite pastime is listening to girls drop big old deuces in my toilet. It's hilarious because the hotter they are, the funnier it is. Doesn't matter how fucking hot your ass is, because it's gotta shit sometime, baby. I'm gonna listen.
All right, Maddox, everybody. Hard to believe, huh? That he'd get voted down to oblivion.
What a fucking cretin that guy is. Fuck. I hate him.
Dude, he's such a loser. It's great. But KC, before you move on, we don't just have Maddox, as you know. He had a partner in crime, so to speak, on that episode. So why don't you go ahead and play the next image and send your boy off.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we must say goodbye to King Henry VIII, who at one time was a consistent top 3, top 4 gentleman, and ended up at +9. So he didn't
the sex table. It was the sex table for me. That's what I voted for him.
That makes sense. And also, is that King Baratheon dressed up as him, or is it just meant to look like it?
No, I think it's just a look-like, or a wax museum.
Could be, yeah, something. Either way, DC King Henry. I thought he was going to end up a little higher up on the list than he did, but I was really happy to find out that was my gentleman getting retired, because I didn't look for an update, and I was like, oh yeah, very dead, still dead. DC, there's the update.
Ah, good.
Still dead and forever a gentleman.
Totally dead.
Officially now.
Yes,
and
a little bit more canceled. But totally dead.
I would like to point out that I am now 2 for 2 in Forever Gentleman.
Dude, I'm 0 for 2.
That's right.
Fuck.
That's right.
Oh well.
So we'll just keep an eye on that. Is it nomination time for tonight, DC?
It is, Casey.
Excellent. Well, I'm up first, and I told you, DC, I was going to tell you all about one of the best states in our union. Somewhere that I think is on the rise, thanks to the leadership of one, Gavin Newsom.
Okay. You got a long way to go to convince me that this election rigor. I mean, go ahead, Casey. Go ahead.
No. So Gavin, born and raised in beautiful San Francisco, California. He's 55 years old now. Son of William Alfred Newsom, state appeals court judge and attorney for Getty Oil. So he was kind of a bigwig.
Okay.
His father was an advocate for otters, and the family kept an otter as a pet, which I thought was an awesome fun fact. And when his parents divorced in 1972, Gavin was only 5 years old, and his dad did get remarried to the otter immediately. So at least he had...
He made oh, that is funny, dude. Made an honest woman out of that otter. I like it.
So he had bad dyslexia as a kid, and he still does to this day. He has to rely on a combination of audiobooks, digests, informal verbal instruction, both now and back then, to learn. Even to this day, it's said that he prefers to take in classified documents via audio from the AIC, the IBF, all those important agencies. In high school, he played basketball and baseball. Thinking man's joke, DC. In high school, he played basketball and baseball. He was good at both. He always had the score wrong, and that's the last of my dyslexic jokes for a while, I think. I had to get a bunch of them in early, you know. After the divorce, his mom worked 3 jobs to support Gavin and his sister, and kind of the reason for this, because you'd think his dad's the attorney for Getty Oil and a judge, right? They've got some money here. And they did, but his dad just loved giving money away. And there was like Christmases where they didn't have gifts. Now imagine how mad you'd be as a kid if your parents were like, no gifts this year, but we are going to get a couple of foster kids to be your siblings for the year. Be like, well, I feel like that budget could be used elsewhere.
Yeah. Like, why the fuck would you say but in that sentence? It's and.
Yeah, you're only stacking bad news here. You're not changing the tone.
That's really good.
So mom's working a bunch of jobs. Gavin works a bunch of jobs. They support the family. And he goes on to attend Santa Clara University. He gets his bachelor in political science. So the business career begins. He's young. He's 24. He helps co-found Plump Jack Associates with a couple of friends and Gordon Getty, who's got some money. They started a winery. The company was named after an opera that Getty had written back then. And when a guy like Gordon Getty invests in 10 of your first 11 businesses, name everything after him. Fuck it.
Yep.
Whatever he
By
wants.
the way, like the gayest enterprises to ever come out of San Francisco.
It's impressive. That's a towering list. Getty told the San Francisco Chronicle that he treated Newsom like a son at the beginning, and that was the reason for his first investment, because of their relationship. But Gavin's a goddamn gentleman, and he's successful, and that's why Getty continued to invest in the rest of them. So Gavin's got an idea. He knows what he's doing. One of his early interactions with the government is when he's running the winery, the health department comes to him, and they're like, you don't have a sink on the property. Technically, there's food, drink here. You got to have a sink, right? You need to be able to clean the place. And he's like, I'm not getting a sink. So he goes to court over a sink, and they order him to spend $27,000 on a sink, just so he can clean the floor.
Yeah, if you'll just read the zoning laws,
Not
it's
that
pretty open and shut.
Not a whole lot of detail.
Anything zoned for commercial use and residential use, how about that? Must have at least one sink on premises. And a door. Do you have that? Okay, good.
So he vows based on this and other interactions that he's going to go work in the government and make things better, which is the equivalent of getting like a speeding ticket for 130 and then going into police reform. Like, those bastards. We got to fix that system. How dare he give me that ticket? So he's super successful. His business now has 700 employees. The conglomerate that he is running has 5 restaurants, retail stores. They're blowing up in California. His annual income, he's starting to make over $500,000. This stacks year on year through his mid-20s, and now his gross value is probably around $7 million here. To the point where he's actually giving a $50 gift certificate to all Plump Jack employees every time they had a failed idea. Because, quote, there can be no success without failure. So, DC, he is a gentleman I would want to work for. I can come up with all kinds of bad ideas.
Yeah.
I'd make bank working for that guy. If he wants good ideas, I hope he doesn't pay commission on those. But politics.
Yeah, one good idea. Stop doing that. Stop paying people for their bad ideas.
He should get $50 every time he thinks about that initiative. The first political experience he has is when he volunteers for a mayoral campaign that was successful. So he starts out a winner. The mayor that he helped get elected puts him on the Parking and Traffic Commission in his 20s. And a gentleman is always on the rise, DC. He goes from on the board to the president of the board. From the president of the Parking and Traffic Board to the youngest member ever of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. So now he's just
okay. Hold on, but did he fix anything while he was in?
Lot.
Like that's exactly where he was at: the traffic and parking. Like that was his goal. If he didn't get shit done there, I'm going to be very mad.
He nailed that. He did such a good job. He did such a good job. So he goes over to the Board of Supervisors, describing himself as a social liberal and a fiscal watchdog, which is, I think, how 90% of any person that defines themselves as independent pretty much uses some terrible bunching of words just like that.
Right.
Deciding to change, it's just down the middle, bland language. He decides to change districts, sticking with that theme. Going to another district, which had the highest income level and the highest number of Republicans in the San Francisco area. So he's going to rerun for the Board of Supervisors, but now in this Republican district. And he goes to the Republican Party and he says, hey, I got $500 for you. Put me on the ad slate for the Republican Party just so I'll get a little boost. And they're like, sure, thanks for the money. He wins easily. No opposition.
Yeah.
Because he's a Democrat running as a Republican. So everybody's like, why is that happening? Yeah, fine. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's fine. During his time on the board, he supported housing projects to increase home ownership and affordable housing in San Francisco, which worked, clearly. He proposed a great initiative, which I enjoy. The Care Not Cash measure, which offered care, supportive housing, drug treatment, and help from behavioral health specialists for the homeless. This was a very unpopular bill. Why? Because it was to replace the cash aid that they were getting from the government. According to Newsom, quote, progressives, Democrats, nuns, priests, homeless advocates, and the homeless were furious. But guess what, DC? Fuck them. It was a good idea, and it got him in the conversation for mayor.
Yep.
2003, he becomes the mayor of San Francisco. Barely. The race was just full of political attacks, personal attacks. His opponent had supported Nader in 2000, so he was making fun of that. And then he had switched parties to go back on the board, so the other guy was making fun of that. But a gent always wins, and he did. He had the support of Bill Clinton, Al Gore, Jesse Jackson. This is after Schwarzenegger had taken over the governorship in California, so now the Republican side is on the swing, so the Democrats are panicking.
Yeah, by recall, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how Arnie got in.
There's some consistency there. Yeah. Even still, with all that support that he had, there was still a runoff in this election, which he only took 53% of the vote. He won to become the mayor by 11,000 votes.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Excuse me.
Which means he won by 700,000.
It might be true. He ran San Francisco as a fairly conservative California Democrat, pretty business friendly, claimed to be a centrist, ran on the slogan "Great cities, great ideas," and fought homelessness aggressively. We are told. That's what I read. 2007. He's on a bid for re-election. Literally, no big candidates run. The guy he beat before was like, nah, I'm not going to do it again. The guys on the board of supervisors that were against him were like, I don't think so. I'm not going to run. So what ends up happening is the date to certify yourself for an election comes and goes, and no big candidate puts their name in. So he ends up running against 13 anybody's on the bill, including a nudist activist and the owner of a power exchange sex club. Somehow,
cool.
They weren't able to win. I was rooting for that. Was Michael Powers. I was rooting for him. Unfortunately, Gavin wins re-election with 72% of the vote. So he still only managed 72% when nobody had heard of the other people. He gains national attention after this when he directs San Francisco, the city county clerk's office, to issue a marriage license to a same-sex couple, which violated the state law from 2000. So now he's starting to become a rebel. His care not cash initiative, which was like, give the money back, get help or die in a gutter, which they're making that choice. Care not cash initiative begins on July 1st, houses a bunch of people. The stats looked great, so I assume it worked. I think it was like 2,000 people, which is, I am guessing, 1% of the problem. He came under attack.
Yeah, and 1% of those 2,000 people kept their apartment clean that they gave them.
Jordan Peterson would be furious. He comes under attack from the Democratic Party in 2009 for his failure to implement the sanctuary city rule, meaning he had a problem with criminal immigrants in his city, which seems good.
Or the rich people of the city had a problem with it.
Yeah, that too. The people helping Gavin out. So Gavin says, fuck everybody, I do what I want. And he continues on. He does a good job as mayor, but it's time to move up in the world. April 2009, he announces that he will run for governor of California. He gets the endorsement from President Bill Clinton in September of 2009 and says, you know what I'm going to be when I win? I'm going to be the Gavinator. And then he dropped out of the race a month later due to lack of support because everyone heard that.
Yeah. Boo. They booed him out of California. He had to run for governor of Wyoming.
There's no cool names you can make with Wyoming, so put him there.
They would have killed him as soon as they saw that he combed his hair. Like, yeah, you kill that guy.
So he does not become governor of California at that point. But a gentleman improvises. And he says, you know what I'll do? I'll call an audible. I'll run for lieutenant governor. And I'll win. Which he did, actually, twice. He got re-election a couple years later, I think in 2014. In his time there, we'll do a quick recap. He supported a failed measure in 2012 trying to end capital punishment. He had pointed out that they had spent $5 billion to execute just 13 people, which sounds worth it to me.
Yeah. That's some good drugs. You can execute me with that much money.
It really is. Speaking of drugs, he helped legalize weed in California.
Cool.
And he did, as a lieutenant governor usually does. I mean, we've all gotten to see the former wrestler, A-Train. He's the lieutenant governor in Pennsylvania now. I keep seeing him on TV all the time. He did lots of media, including...
Was that Booker T's partner?
It might have been, yeah, I think so.
A-Train? Sounds right.
So he did lots of media during this time, and that included the Adam Carolla Show, where they were debating the homelessness issue of California. And Gavin, during this first clip, slides in a statistic that Adam kind of latches onto. He's curious about why that specific statistic was provided, and Adam Carolla is relentless.
Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
But think about
Don't
Adam,
have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a check.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
Why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know
and
why
payday
those
lenders
groups,
taking
why
advantage.
those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
So
talk
they're
about.
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
do
Absolutely
Asians
not.
have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so
I just,
that's not just Hispanic and Hispanic.
No, but
But
I'm
why'd you
giving
bring up Black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the
Just
magnitude.
that's the way God planned it?
It just happens to
It
be.
just happens to be. So, so Gavin,
Excuse me, Gavin, why are the lowest GDP countries all in Africa? Cut.
so Gavin is a gentleman, and he's going to help Adam understand, and he's going to explain why this is the case. Now, this becomes relevant at the end of the clip, so take a note on who mentions family when it comes to eventually becoming homeless and being set up properly for life.
And you want to go back to issues of racism? I'll do that. You want to go back to the debate we're having about the Voting Rights Act and the fact the Supreme Court wants to take away Section 5?
What about their families?
You want to no, but you want to
talk
talk
about their
about
families?
But I understand that families are incredibly important. That's certainly part of it,
Yeah,
and
it's
people have to be more
very
responsible.
small part of it. It's minuscule.
It's a big part of
Oh,
it.
big.
It is a big.
Oh,
part.
well,
But
why
all
don't you
these
guys
things
talk
are
about
part of
that
it.
then if it's a big part?
I just brought it up.
Nope.
No, you did not.
I just brought it up.
I don't think so. So, last clip from this. Gavin is defending the need for more fathers to be around. This was a thing that Obama had been pushing at the time, which was, it takes, I'm going to paraphrase this, to be a man, all you need is testicles, but to be a courageous man, you be a father. Right, like it's easy to have a kid; it's hard to raise a kid. Is the point? But courageous was the word that Obama had used. So they play that clip on the show, and Kroll was kind of making fun of that, and courage to be a father. And Adam and Gavin are arguing about this, and Adam strips it down really simply, but Gavin, he's always ready to respond.
But at least he made the point that I imagine
made the
you
point
accept
that
it's easy
it's
to
like-
have one.
Yes.
But you've got to actually step up and be a man and actually raise one. And he
Right.
probably used, I think that's
Listen,
what
Gavin,
ultimately
I know what
he's
you're saying.
Yeah.
Anybody can eat at an IHOP. It takes courage to pay the bill.
I don't,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So
Courage to pay the bill.
I have not listened to enough Carolla in my life, man. That clip had me
No,
fucking
he's been
rolling.
shit on. Like his show ever since Loveline. All I've heard about Adam Carolla is that he just says the same stories over and over about his carpentering and his father. I'm like,
It's-
well, that's too bad because I think he's one of the funniest people on earth.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to that. All right, so yeah, he was lieutenant governor. He improved some educational technology in schools. He hated Adam Carolla and Scrabble. Anyway,
That's
It's
Madam
announced-
Carolla to you.
so he announces that he's going to run for governor in 2018. And he does. And he defeats John H. Cox, Republican, in a landslide and is sworn in January of 2019 as the governor of California. And D.C. since then, it has gone real well.
That's what I hear.
He has said that the death penalty is a racist system. It's perpetuating inequality. It's a system I cannot in good conscience support, which is a weird thing to start with because I don't know what it takes to get on the death penalty. I think I need to check the list for gentlemen, but it seems to be indefensible. However, he has put on a temporary reprieve for everyone on the California death row, which is the largest in the... hemisphere.
It takes a jury of 12 of your peers to unanimously say, yeah, kill him or her.
That's right.
That's what it takes.
Well,
so,
yeah, that's technically what it takes.
Oh
Yeah, you're right about
God.
that. But yeah, so anyway, so
AKA
that's,
the most fair you could make it.
it does seem to be fair, yes. Let's see, what are some other things Gavin's been up to? Mostly
Teeth
aside
whitening.
from, yeah, he's been hitting up his haircuts and dentist appointments on time. He's been under recall fire constantly ever since he got put into office. They tried a bunch at the beginning and failed. Then Orrin Heady comes in from, I swear to God, there's a county in California called YOLO County, which I really hope is older than the term. He comes forward with a petition. I wouldn't doubt that it wasn't.
I hope it isn't, because that gives me hope that I could name other counties like
that's a good point.
Shitfuck County, Buggery County,
Buggery County.
Now entering Buggery.
He's under fire for sanctuary state stuff, which obviously has now gone the other way.
Right.
The homelessness problem, which is number one, which again just keeps coming back. Taxes in the state are crazy. Quality of life is super low in the state, and some other grievances. Always hate it when you're the governor and somebody's like, here's a petition to kick out the governor, and the Secretary of State is like, we have to distribute that. Everybody needs to read this. It's a bad sign. hate it when it gets distributed. Yeah.
Pass that around.
So the signatures start to pile up, and they're like, all right, we'll give you guys till November 2020 to sign this. Now there's a pandemic. You guys have till March. Figure it out. Just take your time. It takes a long time to sign things. I hope you know that. So the support is growing. Now, why would the people be mad? Here's a couple bullet points. Let me go through here. He went to a party in November 2020 after he had locked down the state. No one had a job because the state was locked down. Schools, businesses being a part of the state were also locked down. And there was a $31 billion fraud scandal in the state that was currently under lockdown. So, some issues that people didn't seem thrilled with.
And they kicked out Joe Rogan. They chased off Joe Rogan. That might have been the worst thing.
Chased Joe Rogan to Austin. I didn't get what everybody was bitching about, personally.
No?
Honestly, though, Cali has been
a disaster. Because you pay Connecticut taxes, so you would understand.
Not for long. He's led up a state that is just a disaster during the pandemic. Some of the country's toughest pandemic restrictions have been applied there, and they still have an above-average death rate amongst everybody. There was also some controversy with his wife, who, Jennifer, runs a nonprofit and reportedly had received about $1 million in political donations from some companies associated with the state government, which I think her husband might be involved with. Her salary of $2.3 million from the nonprofit makes sense. That is not suspicious. And when Gavin was asked about it, he said there's been no conflict, so don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll close up here, DC. Another problem with Gavin's state, it's always on fire. Constantly and always by accident.
Yep.
He's allowed trans people to go to the prison of their choice, which is nice.
It is nice. You know?
It is nice. Imagine the
I would
scenarios
much rather
that could
get
come out of
raped
that.
by women. I'd
too.
much rather get raped by women, if I'm being
That
honest.
sounds. I think you're being honest, and I would agree. His biggest issue, though, DC, and it always comes back to this: it's the street people. He has done a lot for street people. He's created quite a few more, but hopefully not himself. I'd like to see him stay in the mansion. DC, Gavin Newsom, a goddamn gentleman.
Fuck that guy. I can't believe he stayed in. Can't believe it.
He's the best. All right, before honoraries. I told you I had this, but you don't know what it is.
Oh, yes.
I have a bonus Opie bomb.
I can't wait for this. I don't know what it is.
Now, there was a bit. Now, I know I've told you this before, but most people wouldn't know this. There was a bit on Opie and Anthony back in the day that they called Jocktober. It was a takeoff on what you would hear on every hacky FM radio station during the month of October, which is Rocktober, which is somehow when they play more rock. I don't know what it means, but it was Rocktober. So they decided we'll do Jocktober and we'll just make fun of these shows. Great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there was this radio pair in New York named Scott and Todd. Scott Shannon, who was an old school radio guy, one of the pioneers of radio, really. And then Todd Pettingale, who was a shitty WWE side guy.
I do know Todd.
You know Pettingale?
I do know Todd. And his impressions, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, he's horrific. So, one of the things that Todd is famous for are his song parodies.
That's right.
And he would just pump out hundreds of these, and they were horrible. So, one day, they're listening to one of Todd's song parodies, which is a song about what a nervous month October must be for turkeys, because November's right around the corner when Thanksgiving happens. Now, the name of this song was Sucks to Be a Turkey in October, and it was set to Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Now, there's not a lot of sense to be made, right? But sucks to be a turkey in October, right? And they just go through it. It's terrible. The lyrics were awful.
They're gonna put stuffing up your ass. Yeah,
exactly. Just dumb shit like that. But the other part about Todd, too, he would do the chorus 3 times and do all the verses. And it just was so... and he would shoehorn in horrific fucking words that don't fit the line. All bad. And Anthony, who was a genius in the 90s at the song parody, always took offense to these. And in this clip that we're going to hear, Anthony is talking about how lyrically it's not hard to build a song parody. Pick words that fit.
No, dude, go listen to My Corona or Baby It's Cold Outside. It's very easy to do it. You just have
really
to be
not
smart.
hard. So Anthony's explaining how to do it, and then Opie applies what he's learned. And boy, the backswing here is huge. He really rears back for this one.
Just put words to music. They don't have to make sense. They rhyme though. How about sucks to be Scott and Todd on the radio.
Hey guys, how about this one? And then before he even got out of the first sentence, he was like, fuck, radio. Aw, damn it. I can't believe I just did that. I got nothing.
Nothing.
And the next part doesn't even have to rhyme with radio. He doesn't get it at all.
It was like he got called
whatever
out
you
in
say
class.
is what needs to rhyme at the end. You could set yourself up for the easiest rhyme of all time, but you fucked up. Oh, Jesus. I love to hate that guy. Like Maddox. I love to hate Maddox. I hope Maddox never kills himself, because then it's over.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Banana Docs is over. Oh,
that part would be good. That would be okay. All right, DC. Honorary time. And it's your and my favorite segment. It's time to learn.
Oh, no. I thought I learned everything.
Nope, you haven't learned enough.
Now what's fucking racist?
Today's topic, DC. Straight men attracted to pre-op trans women. Are they gay?
Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, let me get that again. The straight men who are attracted to men?
No, pre-op trans women.
Okay.
So men, yes.
Men who are attracted to traps.
Yes,
are they gay? Okay, I got you. The answer is no. They're being actively tricked, and they just might be drunk.
Well, now, all right, so let me see if you want to amend your answer. What if it is not in any way a trap or a trick, and they're aware of what they're going into?
Yeah, they're super gay.
Some straight men are attracted to trans women who haven't had bottom surgery. This is very disconcerting and confusing to women when they find this out, because they think, well, if she hasn't had bottom surgery, then, and you want to play with that part of her, then you can't be 100% straight. But that doesn't make sense because you have to remember that these are still women.
Nope.
Trans women are women.
Nope.
They are female.
Nope.
The attraction to her is from the waist up, but it can also be from the waist down. And they can experience pleasure playing with that person from the waist down. But that act, again, doesn't indicate a sexual orientation. It indicates an attraction to the person, to the woman, the trans woman.
Nope.
America, DC, be whatever you want.
It was a good run. Yeah, it's a good run.
Do whatever you want.
We gave it a good shot. Damn it,
I'm
Casey,
not sure we did.
Can we just get it? Can we just get it through everybody's heads that if you are a man and you're attracted to women, then that's straight, and everything else, any other combination of anything else, man or woman, is gay. Women who like men, they're the gayest. Have you ever noticed that? They love the gayest shit. They read the stupidest gay books all the time, the Jane Austen books. Horrible. Have you ever seen a lesbian read? No, you never have, because they're as close to men as straight. It goes straight men, lesbian women, then everything else ties for last. Gay. Everything else.
It's all equal.
That's it. All equal.
Well, DC, don't worry, because I feel like you don't. I feel like you're upset that you haven't learned enough. So I'll bring you some more.
I am.
Here we have a public school teacher.
I made a comment on one of Miss April's recent videos about PBIS, in which I stated that PBIS is white supremacy with the hug, and a lot of y'all wanted to know more about that, so here we go.
DC, do you know what PBIS is?
No. I know what PBS is, but I don't know why that would be white supremacy. They're like the most diverse channel on the.
It's government funded. It can't be white supremacy.
Yeah, you ever watch Sesame Street?
So PBIS, I had to Google it. Positive Behavior Interventions and Support. It's some kind of behavioral learning system for kids in school, basically, like how to behave.
Okay.
It's a how to
behave. Okay.
It's a how to behave system. It's just a stupid fancy term for it. But he says
how's that racist?
PBIS. It's racism with a hug. So that's interesting.
Right.
Let's find out how it's racist.
So if PBIS concerns itself with positive behaviors, we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, what are those positive behaviors? And it's things like making sure that you're following directions and making sure that you're sitting quietly and you are in your seat and all these things that come from white culture.
What?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Well, that was the most racist thing that's been said on this podcast so far.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, Casey, I'm actually very, very sure that it's a big part of Asian culture to sit down and shut the fuck up. And you listen and you do what you're told. And if you don't, then your parents are going to make sure as fuck that you do it tomorrow. And they're very successful. And I bet there's no correlation there at all. What the hell is he trying to say here? That like other cultures, it is productive and not counterintuitive that they all teach their children to just ignore fucking directions and run wild and rambunctious, and to say otherwise is fucking to say that the best possible way to raise people is white supremacy. Now I think that says more about them than it does about the behavior. Institute of Behavior.
I was as confused as you were when I was watching this, and my final clip from this gentleman was literally titled, "I'm sure he doesn't mean what I think he means."
The idea of just sitting quiet and being told stuff and taking things in a passive stance is not a thing that's in with many cultures. So if we're positively enforcing these behaviors, we are by extension positively enforcing elements of white culture, which therefore keeps whiteness at the center, which is the definition of white supremacy.
He's a teacher, by the way, so
yeah.
Make sure the kids are on time to the bus.
Good thing that he's white, because he comes off a tad gay, and in non-white cultures that doesn't really go great. If you've ever, Casey, you know what necklacing is, right?
I don't think
Google
I do.
It. Anyway, Google it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Understood. All right,
Jesus
honorary. My final one, DC.
Yeah.
And it's a quick one, and this is just really a palate cleanser. This is a guy that shows up to a public health forum in a beekeeper's outfit, and he only had 1 point.
My name is Eric Soto, and I had a 0.00001 chance of being stung by a bee today.
Ah, goddamn Joe.
Hero. Dude, that guy's a hero.
He's fucking awesome.
That guy's
guy.
amazing.
DC, that's it for me.
Fantastic work. I liked every single one of those. That was great, except all the ones about how I'm a terrible person.
You bigot.
Because of the color of my skin. Could you please stop telling me that I'm worthless and that I have terrible views because of the color of my skin?
You still white?
It hurts my feelings. No, less and less every day, Casey.
Oh, good.
Less and less
Good for
every
you.
day. Florida is just turning me darker, fortunately. I'm going to start going by Jose. Casey, I've got a few honoraries myself. I think I had 3 or 4. Call it 3. First one, we get a gentleman shout out, as is wont to happen when your gentleman is the current sitting president of the United States. Keep an eye on the ref in the background, Casey, because he's trying to make honorary on the down low here.
Hey, yo, I just want to make a call out. Joe Biden, you're the biggest piece of shit this country has ever had in office.
Hey, guys, like, yes. I don't care about this job or that this is on TV. Oh, my goodness. It's great. That was fantastic, that guy. And then he goes on. He keeps going, like, calling him out and shit like that. But that was the point. Casey, this next honorary is an image. And I know that the person who wrote this, the cop that wrote this, was a man. Next image. This lady of the night was arrested. Can you see there the first, that circled part?
Yeah. The under notes about the person for tattoos, it says chin. Both chins have several tattoos.
Both chins do. And they're right. Oh,
they absolutely are.
Casey, I actually, you know what? I did have 4 honoraries, but one of them I couldn't in good conscience put it in this show. And now I'm glad, because of the direction that your honoraries went, that I took this out of mine. Maybe I'll just show you and the others off the record after the show. But Casey, have you ever had a bad day at work?
I have.
Have any of those bad days ever had anything to do with mistreatment from a boss that you might have had?
Sure,
right?
Sure.
This next gentleman was not paid for his work. This was presumably some kind of construction work, and he was a heavy machinery operator. I would give anything to be this man in this situation. Just
is he gonna destroy shit?
Casey, next video.
Yes. Oh yes. Just destroying the trucks.
One by one.
Trucks.
Right into the cabin.
Oh my God. Pay the bill,
They
bitch.
caught him. They caught him, but awesome. Fucking awesome. All right, Casey,
hero.
that's it for my honoraries. Without further ado, Casey, I'm excited for this one. I can't believe I haven't thought to do this guy earlier, especially with some of my other gentlemen, but I chose to do this guy this week pretty early on after last week's episode was done. Before I knew who your gentleman was going to be, but I asked you first, and you said Gavin Newsom. I said, thank Christ you did somebody political, because I'm closing with this guy. And a gentleman always, Casey, introduces himself. Next video.
Hi, my name's Vermin Supreme, and I'm generally known as a person who's running for president. I'm a friendly fascist. I'm a tyrant that you should trust, and you should let me run your life, because I too know what is best for you.
Vermin Supreme.
You teased this at one point, like a month or two ago. You played one clip. You were like, I'm bringing this whole thing, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I have no idea about this guy. He looks and sounds like a complete lunatic, and I'm all in.
He is a political figure for the Libertarian Party, I believe he's originally from New Hampshire. If not, that's where he ran in the primaries. This started back in 2008. I think may have been his first official run that got any kind of notoriety. If he did anything before that, because he's been in activism, political activism for 30 plus years by his own account. However, he didn't blow up until the 2012 election in the 2011 primaries. So he was up in New Hampshire, and that second video clip saying that he was the kind tyrant or whatever, the tyrant you should trust, that was in 2012. A lot of mine are actually. So yeah, basically he's a mouthpiece for the "Get the fuck out of my face" party, which is awesome. So Mr. Supreme, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation long enough and must be stopped. For too long, this country has been suffering a great moral and oral decay in spirit and in sizers.
Yeah, Casey, he's fucking awesome.
I love him. Oh, man. He's punny. He's got a boot on his head sometimes and then a mermaid fin at other times.
It's always a boot.
Was that last one a boot?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
it's very bizarre.
Yeah, pretty sure.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah. It is very bizarre, and so is his platform. But I think that it's going to be revolutionary, Casey. Just needs, a chance, and I want to give him that chance. This fellow gent asks what we all want to know, Casey, about his platform. Next video.
And President Romney has been accused, and I'm not taking a position one way or the other, of taking different positions on different issues. I'm asking you right now, do you still stand by your pledge made in 2008 to provide a pony for every American?
Yes, I do, sir.
Oh.
Yeah, Casey, he's fucking great.
I saw somebody in chat say that. Was that Finn's fan that said he has a pony promise? And I was like, oh, well, I hope we get to that.
Well, I mean, you see that and you're like, this guy can't be serious, right? Next clip.
Free ponies for all Americans, one of the overlooked issues in America today. My free pony platform is, of course, a jobs creation program. It will create lots and lots of jobs. Once we switch over to a pony-based economy, we'll also lower our dependence on foreign oil. We'll also be able to turn all that pony poop into methane gas and wonderful compost, so we'll be able to up our soil that is being depleted by agrochemicals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, of course, the important thing to realize is that it is a federal pony identification program where you will need your pony with you at all times. Thank you very much.
All right. Ponies for everybody then. Free ponies. Totally a viable plan. They're a form of identification. You always have to have them with you. It makes sense to me.
I think this is just relevant. I was just thinking about this. There are people, and we've seen a few YouTube comments here or there, that will watch my honorary segment and go, how could you say that those people are crazy? And then laugh along with us at this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, guys, we don't see the difference. We don't see that. There is no difference at all.
All the same.
It's all the same thing. It's all the same
all the
thing.
fucking same. And he is really fucking serious about this pony policy, Casey. He loves it, as you can tell from this follow-up question here. Next video.
Mr. Supreme, I wanted to follow up on Ambassador Shoemaker's question.
Yes.
Regarding the ponies.
Yes.
Is that the only government entitlement program that you support? What other entitlement programs are you for?
Just that one.
Killer. just that one. Casey, a gentleman.
Just the one program.
A gentleman is conservative on the amount of entitlement programs that a government is, willing to give out, because it'll make your people soft. However, he does keep the energy crisis in mind, and he has a plan for that too. Casey, next video.
But in the vein of energy production, I'd also like to address my harnessing the awesome power of zombies for energy sources. It's not just to run away from anymore.
Oh, good. It's not just to run away from anymore.
There should be a federal law where every serious debate, this guy gets a podium just to liven it up. Just to, when we had, imagine Trump, Hillary, Vermin, all in the same thing, because Trump would be agreeing with half of the shit.
Casey, I can't believe you just said that, because I put myself in that mindset today. Like, okay, I'm interviewing Vermin Supreme on the stage with Hillary over here and Trump over here, and I just get to say, hey, Vermin, if you were elected president, would you be for the policy of continuing killing women and children? Would you allow that, the killing of women and children in the Middle East, to continue exclusively killing women and children as it is now? As we all know, that's all we do over there. We just exclusively women and children. Are you going to allow that to continue?
Well, thank you. That's a very wonderful hypothetical question. And I will say that I will allow it.
Yeah! Hillary loves it. But Vermin, that's a terrible thing. Those people are going to die horrifically. Next clip.
Well, once again, I think the important thing to remember is that the people on my kill list would be killed by cute, fuzzy pony drones, so it would be much more acceptable.
Agreed. Much more acceptable. Okay. All right, I'm coming around.
That's a platform I can get behind.
But how is all this pony rhetoric helping you, Vermin? Next clip.
I picked up a lot of very excited and interested and new constituents. And the bronies, the fans of the My Little Pony series have been amazing in their support for my campaign.
No shit. No shit is that the case. But Vermin, at the end of the day,
first off, before you go on, I did not know that My Little Pony fan club members were called pronies. And for a moment, just for a second, I thought his fan club had started calling themselves pronies. And I was so happy.
Bronies with a B.
Bronies,
like bros.
Yeah, bronies. But yeah, it's...
How dare you?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But Vermin, at the end of the day, you are a politician. So how am I supposed to trust you?
Yes, I'm a politician. I will promise you anything your little electorate heart desires, because you are my constituents. You are the informed voting public, and because I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make.
Savage. All right, I'm sold. That's it. You got my vote. Casey, where do I go to vote on Vermin Supreme?
Vote early, vote often. Remember, a vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote completely thrown away.
Vermin Supreme, everybody. Don't let that what the fuck word am I trying to think of? Don't tell me. Don't let that
I don't even know where to begin
deter
to think
you.
about it.
Don't let that deter you from voting on Vermin Supreme. You can do that at www.twogoddamngentlemen.com. Casey, that's it. Vermin Supreme, gentlemen, 2024.
Wow. He's next level. That was awesome. I'd never heard of that guy until like I said a couple months ago when you brought him up, and wow. Yeah, I'll vote for him too. I like that. DC, tell everybody where they can find things.
In addition to www.twogoddamngentlemen.com, you can go to patreon.com/twogoddamngentlemen. There you can find all the bonus episodes, all the regular video episodes, and if you are a gentleman, you get the episodes on video the same day the audio releases. If not, you can find it there a week later for free on the website. But tell your friends, become a gentleman, become a goddamn gentleman. Join us live in the Discord. What the fuck?
And then sometimes you'll be lucky enough for me and DC to mix up audio files, and you'll hear a whole show without DC on it, which is what happened last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned, DC, normally Thursday for the bonus show. That is still the goal. That's still the plan. But we will update everybody in the Discord as we get closer to showtime. Until then, the search for the ultimate gentleman, it continues.
That's it. Thank you all for coming today.
That's a wrap.
There's no place in our cognitively complex society for 1 in 10 people.
All right? All right.
Meeting adjourned.
Hey, one more thing. Jesus told me to make Randall Terry gay with magic sprinkle dust.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supreme. Thank you.